are off for another edition, Sunday edition, episode 10 edition of Run for the Roses on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. You're watching us on the Sports Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. Shout out to everyone who's been taking in the college football previews. I am Ryan, real digital horseman Kramer, real tired as well. Been lot to tell you about, Mr. Scott, but he, as I mentioned, Scott Bowser is the chief horse officer. He is Space Rothstein and the man in the desert. Mr. Scott Bowser, how are we feeling, sir?
Feeling great, man. Let's do this.
It is another joyous week 2 episode. Again, pushed it back a couple days. I was floating down a river in Utah. You got to do some soul searching, center my energy on with the bets I'll be placing on the 2025 NFL season. Also, just had some real good thoughts about the horses. Got to share with some strangers what digital horse racing is, and that they were hanging out with a virtual Kentucky Derby champion.
Oh yeah,
so yeah. It was a good trip. We're a couple days late, and the Turf Classic did get postponed, and we will be running it next week, Friday, at the conclusion of the show, 6 p.m. So no worries there. But Scott, how are we feeling? We're a week into breeding. We are 2 weeks into the season. How's it feel like season 30 is going for us?
I think it's going great. I mean, obviously last season's Derby win was huge for us, but I think we're really doing a good job of capitalizing on that the best we can. No, we have one right now who looks like she's already punched her ticket in. Our Derby champion is the number 2 qualifier right now for the High Court Classic, and we're looking really good in one of the juvenile kingmakers and some of the other lower end juvenile stuff as well. So I mean, with what we have coming as a 2-year-old crop, our top 3-year-old, and our best 4-year-old still out there going, I think this could be our best free roll season since season 17.
You're gonna make me now. I gotta pull it up. So we are gonna get to it, and just to give you an idea of what we'll be talking about today. Let me pull up I'll have it as a backdrop here. People can look at these beautiful standings as we talk. But yeah, it does look nice to have another one in the Derby already. So loaded show. Like you said, we've been a little all over the place. I've been a little all over the place this season. I don't feel like I feel like I might be leaving a little bit of scraps with our other 3-year-olds, but that's all right. We're prioritizing the big ones. But we have a loaded show. Going to talk about, of course, Ian shook the world of photo finish and Solana with an epic thread. Couple really insightful posts. It kind of, as the week went on, it was like messages from Scott like, this will be good for the show. Well, this will be good for the show. And so Ian, aka the Godfather, aka the boss, he loaded us up with a bunch of stuff to talk about. So we're going to cover that. We are going to go into a post that we saw our boy Solnut Stables about streaks, hot streaks, confident, whatever you want to talk. Is there an idea of getting hot in the game as a stable, as a horse? And what else do we have, Scott? We were gonna, well, of course, we were gonna update you on the Derby and how we're racing this season, which is nice. And then we'll have some time at the end probably to talk a little breeding, little stud activity.
Yeah, some good stuff there. But yeah, I mean, we are looking really good right now with our qualifiers for this season. So I mean, we're further along than we were last season at this point. So
yeah, I mean, it's hard to remember how little little confidence we had in actually anything happening with that run last year. Tamale Lady, which, maybe a quick time to talk, a great time to talk about it. This is a horse that did not win a maiden. Yeah. Granted, it did show a decent fleet figure. Did not win a maiden. We went into which shout out to the Redemption Series. If you're not leveraging the Redemption Series for your S pluses, we found some success, including, well, okay, you showed us something again. Work it a little bit more. Ends up finishing third in the free roll at the end of the season. Gave us some confidence, and then, like we mentioned, another stakes race. Let's see how it goes, and boom, the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, but again, just a reminder: if this time of season, like don't put your horse on the shelf so you can't even get in the redemption. It's a series where it starts as non-winners of one, then two, then three, but you have to have an active horse. You can't just load it into the qualifiers at the end of the season. So definitely something to check out there. And then anything else you wanted to add, Tamale lady?
Nah, man, I'm really excited for 2 weeks from today or whatever, or yesterday. She'll be running in the Derby here, and it's gonna be a lot of fun with her, man. I'm
And
excited
again, it's
for
a
this horse.
Rangetti. We've seen a lot of Rangetti success. And our I can't wait for more of the street meet clan to hit the stable or hit the track. But then let's also do a quick hey, we made a decision at the beginning of the season to keep running. He's ready to gig, and like you mentioned, perhaps we made the right decision
I think so.
as we're basically sitting in with the class of the YSM stable, LMA sitting and hair past the crown, a top qualifier for the Derby last season. A lot. In fact, I'm kind of. It's cool to see how many of the same horses, Blue
Blue
Stem,
Stem,
Digital
Sunday Song,
Maelstrom.
yeah. Um, no, it's
But
really
it,
cool.
yeah, go
And
ahead.
well, yeah, and just I think he's proving that last season wasn't a fluke just with this qualifying run alone, almost regardless of
Yeah, I
what
mean
happens on
let's
race day. Just coming back, and the ones that didn't retire, he's consistently held his own and pretty much did what he did last season so far. So I mean,
which is very rare. I mean, you see this right in the season 30. We have one fifth place and one fourth place, one fifth place, one seventh place,
and
or
the
sorry,
seventh
three
place was
fourth places.
at 9 furlongs, and normally wouldn't be running him there, but for this high court, it's 8 furlongs and up for a lot of the qualifiers. And sometimes it was better to run him in those spots. So, and he also showed us a really good one at 8. So I feel like we could have gone, like it was worth doing, running him in those
And
spots.
then, yeah, I mean, if you're not using the Fleet Figure tab, or maybe you're using a third party tool, but always good to kind of look at I like to look at two things here. I like to look at the trending data here, which again, like to me, this tells me we're still in the middle of an aging curve here. I don't think I don't think this horse necessarily is going to decline a definite decline at
No,
5 even, Bowser, especially because we saw like such a jump up from 2 to 3 year old season. But yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing here is a slight decline, but at the end of the day, it's still showing the heart and the which forces its way onto every. It seems like almost every point gathering situation.
yep, yeah, really been a great horse for us so far. So excited to
All right, well,
see.
you want to. What do you want to start? You want to get into what some of Ian's
Yeah, let's
stuff?
talk about the Godfather's tablets from Mount Vesuvius that he bestowed upon us.
Which all right, so we obviously want to talk about the breeding ones first.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most interesting, especially since it's still breeding season right now. But also, like, um, that graph that he has on there that AI Paddock made is really, really helpful, I think. And it kind of explains a lot, especially for newer players of the game. I know I've been talking to a lot of newer stables and getting them set up and going lately. So some of the stuff I've been, really kind of a lot of the stuff I've thought for a while really kind of comes into focus here, where you can kind of see it. So
Yeah, shout out to him for using the X long form platform. But basically, I mean, what you really want to highlight, right? The thesis of this, if you haven't read it, um, I'll drop it in the chat right now, actually. But if you haven't read it, basically, like Bowser, what would you say the thesis of what like this
it's
essay
about
is?
finding the right horse shape, so to speak, kind of thing, where you're looking at like, and I've talked to some stables that are like, Mile High. I was talking to recently about wanting to get be more of a sprinter focused stable, and it's like, well, the what if you want to focus on sprinters, if you want to focus on stayers, whatever you want to focus on, like, I mean, I think this graph is kind of like your Bible in a way. Like,
Yeah, and I'll pull it up because it is. I think I think this may be a couple seasons old, but I don't think it necessarily matters. Here, let me actually.
well, I think what's funny is for more of the sprinter stuff that stamina factors in there at the lower level for extreme sprinters.
So yeah, you can't see it because I crop off the very top, but basically each column is 4 through 12,
Yeah.
as far as distance to give you an idea. But I mean, the concept of what this image is showing us is, to me, what Ian was basically doing was, in a the genius of Ian is that he says he gets people on his side because he says raw shit and he talks shit and he goes after people. And in this case, I think he realizes that he needs to politely put out something saying a lot of you are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
A
I
lot of you
mean,
are wasting your fucking money because you're not doing the right thing and you're not learning from your mistake and you're not learning from the past.
I mean,
And
we've talked about it here on this show of there's two kind of approaches to breeding in our minds of you're either trying to flatten it out or you're trying to take a horse with one set of weaknesses and a horse with a different set of weaknesses, combining them and hopefully hitting the higher upside roll on both sides strengths. And then on the other end, it's like if you have that sprinter kind of shape or the stayer shape or whatever, doubling down on top of that with even higher grades and stuff, trying to make it more extreme in that direction.
yeah, I think either way you look at it, there's also a ton of the theory that has nothing to do with this, which is playing variance versus looking for consistent output. I think there's a ton of things to layer on top of this, but what this should give you is, if you don't feel like you're at the matrix level when you reveal something or when you look at a breed report, if you can't see what that horse is going to be good at running, then you should definitely look at this chart and then go back and look at some of your horses, look at some of your reveals. And I bet you'll one figure out, oh, this is what I did wrong here, or two, fucking temper again.
Yep.
Basically that's that's a lot of
Yeah.
the lot of or fucking hard again.
And also, I mean, the fact that every season's recorded forever in the blockchain, I mean, go back and look at these winners and look at them from season to season and how they get stronger in certain things and how things become more extreme. Like,
Which
everything's there for you to look at.
I'll be very excited when we do finally retire. He's ready to gig, which I think we buried the lead. The coolest thing about he's ready to gig and Tamale Lady is they are compatible with
They
one
are compatible. So, yeah. So
that could drive some retirements.
it would be amazing if we go back to back on the Derby here and then are able to breed those two together immediately. That would be a very cool move. So.
Yeah, and again, coming down to the bottom right of this graph, this is your Derby. It's your Derby section, right? And
Yeah.
it's
No,
like that
and
fine line where we see finish. Just finish is so important.
yeah,
Finishes in all the
obviously, finish
combinations.
and stamina appear to be maybe the two most important traits once you get down there, right?
I mean, it's crazy because it's finish with everything. It's finish with basically everything but start. You got some with speed, stamina, and finish. You got some with finish and temper. Some with finish and heart. Some with finish is the starting ingredient. So what does this tell you? I mean, if you are trying to build a Derby champion, you can't miss on finish.
Yep.
Like, find me the combination where you see a good rate there at a Derby distance that doesn't have finish. And when you don't have finish, you probably have stamina, temper, something like that.
Yeah. Stamina, heart, speed, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, so, continuing on, he kind of goes through, and I definitely recommend you go read this. If you're playing the game and you're not reading this kind of content, you're not being serious. I just like Brian Schottenheimer moving the lockers around in Dallas. It's a non-serious move. But he basically goes through three cases, right? He goes through like bad breed, bad luck, and what was the third one? Oh, just maybe good intentions, but the shape wasn't there. So what my take from this though was that I think he is realizing that the game is very hard, and he wanted to dangle some very basic rudimentary thoughts about to help people self correct on what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure in our many breeds we have done relatively dumb things, but like you were saying earlier, I think there are multiple reasons to be smashing bloodlines together, and I think the direct descent, like the direct output, like that foal is not always our number one priority.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're literally just trying to knock off a certain horse out of that bloodline so you can reintroduce it back in later or something. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I also thought, certainly some interesting stuff in the thread. Let me see. Do we have? Yeah. I mean, again, I recommend if you play the game, save this image. I
yeah.
mean, if you really want to be a savage, make it your iPhone background. Just get into it where you're seeing the green, you're seeing the colors, you're seeing the game for what it is. So,
Yeah, and I
um,
mean, and the red zones are showing you kind of where to avoid, like, at the same time, like when you have some of these certain other trades, you're gonna hit, I mean,
yeah, no, and I think the other thing too, and that's why I like that he included underperformer. Sometimes you're going to be right, and the horse still isn't going to perform.
yeah,
And
it happens.
we've had it doesn't happen. I would say I've gotten fairly efficient at this, but to where we have maybe a handful of surprise reveals every season, but I feel like gotten pretty good at kind of understanding what the horse is going to be missing. And when it's a surprise reveal, great. You get to do something with that in breeding. You can make up for your mistakes.
Yep. No, and I mean that's part of where too, like when you get the bad roll where it doesn't quite give you the result. That's where we've seen stuff skip a generation for us and really kind of work on that the grandkids of our better horses. So
Now, the other thing that I would point out that he kind of like the secondary key takeaway for me in this write up was race your horses,
yes,
or if you don't race your horses, you may not find out if it had that ingredient. And again, this is where I would, you know, whether it's the bloodlines or something else about the horse, it's why you have to. I mean, you do have to race it at 3 and maybe even 4 to see about that aging curve. I mean, we've seen it too many times, Bowser.
yep. And one thing I want to add here too is that this got me starting to think about how stars play a factor from sprint to stayer.
Oh yeah, let's because that's one of the things I teased on the title and the thumbnail. But
And
yeah,
I
let's
think that horse right there, that one,
this
Naughty
one.
Knowledge. This is a great example of it because basically what I kind of had this realization that all right, for sprinters, maybe turn stars aren't quite as important as surface stars. And for a stayer, maybe turn stars are more important than condition stars. So it's like I feel like no matter what, you always want the surface to be dialed in, right? You want a turf runner to be a turf runner, a dirt runner to be a dirt runner. But I feel like you can maybe cheat a little on the stars with sprinting because a sprinter only turns once per race, whereas a stayer turns anywhere about 2.5, 3 times per race. On that 12 furlong, they're doing a legit 3 turns around the track.
There's a lot to break down there, but the at the very base level, it makes a lot of sense. It
Yeah, and
also have we seen a multiple like have we seen a horse like Charlie Chaplin that was able to win across multiple disciplines? Like could that be related because it was more about the turn stars at that longer
at the
distance?
longer distance, yeah, that's what got me thinking about that too. Even though he did win left and right.
It's true. He won, but now what I would wonder there is so we should have. I wonder if this data exists, but we should be able to see the average number of stars for winners across various disciplines and distance. So we should be able to prove this out.
Yeah, and maybe this is just something I don't know. I felt like this was worth bringing up because I can also see how surface condition really matters for a sprinter, right? Some of the better sprinters we've had have had that very high condition preference, whether it's Deuces Wild or Dallas Sucks, that they've usually ran on
Yeah,
that.
you know what that is too. I think there's also an element of the sprinting pool is much deeper. It's
Yeah,
easier for someone to something to funnel into being a sprinter or getting run more as a sprinter. We see more. We see faster fleet figures at sprinters. We see more. We probably see more on average sprint races, like volume, like number of horses running. I'd love to see that distribution across all distances, but I would guess it's probably the 4 to 6 range might be the most popular. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting theory because obviously, anecdotally, for our stable, it's made sense. And so whenever you come to a conclusion based on only a small amount of output, it can be
Yeah.
a little concerning. But I think again, this article is screaming at you that the game is complex. The least you could do is look at the data. The
Yep.
least you could do is collect the data by running the horse. The least you can do is have a goal in mind when you're breeding. Like those are the kind of the three pillars, right? Like it's everything's a data point. So collect the data, have a goal. Otherwise, you're just throwing darts at the wall, which perhaps that's what we did in creating a Derby champion with a sprinter
Yeah.
parent. um, but yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like have a goal, make sure you collect the data, and for me, I still think there's an element of the genetics of the parents relating to the variants, relating to getting outputs like he's ready to gig because it wasn't necessarily what we expected, but the high variance outcome was attractive.
Well, and I've mentioned this to you before of like, I do think like we look at the parents, I think maybe a little too much in breeding because I feel like there's maybe like kind of a tiered system where it goes like it's most likely to like 40% of the traits are going to be produced, pulled from the parents, but like 20% from the grandparents, 10% from the great grand, kind of thing like that as it trickles down. I don't know what the exact distributions would be there, but like a strong grandparent or great grandparent is still likely to trickle into that, through that bloodline.
Yeah, and I mean, like even this reply that Ian has, where he says, "I mean, there's seriously no better alpha than just looking at their attributes, their race records, and their progeny. These know way more than I do." And so, what is he saying? Look at the fucking data, morons.
Yep.
Nicely though, he's saying it nice. He's like, "Hey guys, let me help you out a little bit here. Let the Godfather's coming down to kick a little something to the people. It's in Mad Max when Joe releases
Morton
all the
Joe,
water.
yeah, he's gonna give them their little daily dose of the
I don't.
waterfall.
Yeah, I don't mean to say that Ian is an inbred warlord, but yeah, no, I
No,
appreciate the water. I think
I
does
wouldn't
this.
be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised though if some of these guys are spray painting themselves with the silver spray paint before they race their horses on this.
Let me ask you. Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. I don't know if it's illegal in the game. Let me ask you this: conceptually, do you like it? Do you think it hurts or helps for the game to be made easier? I don't say he's like laying out the answer key, but
Well, I don't think
he's
I don't think he's making it easier per se, but I think he is kind of putting it more into focus on what people, the big points people are missing, kind of thing, and that's fine, because like I feel like there's always going to be room for. I think, well, and we've talked about this for a while. I think as things as more tools become available for people, as more information becomes out there, as shows like this help break down these subjects, right? Then it's going to start getting to the point of how unique did you get with it, and that's where we want to be, like where we've created these custom bloodlines and put these different pieces together and got the outlier star or grade rolls that open us up. Like you see this now where how many horses have good horses now have casino blood in it somewhere. So anytime you can find a great horse that doesn't have casino, that's now a valuable stud to have out there, kind of thing. And like, so I think there's always going to be an edge in being clever, no matter what.
well, yeah, I mean, I guess what I would, yeah, what I would say to that is that I don't necessarily think you're going to be able, even when we have, because of the way people like the human element of racing horses, which they're trying to add some AI components to even help with that. But just the human element in racing and breeding, it's not like poker. This game's not going to get solved. I don't think it's
No.
solvable. At least not yet.
Well,
Maybe
and
when
I
we
think,
get to the best horses, we'll have a different conversation. But
and I also don't think there's one answer to a lot of this stuff. I think there's so many ways you can do things and approach it differently. And because let's just say you wanted to completely focus in breeding on speed, start or stamina, and then stars. Like eventually you're going to hit some outliers elsewhere with those grades in there, and you're going to get something good. Like just playing
Well,
with those
also,
kind of key traits.
what do you see here? You see that there may be a lot more paths to success at 8 furlongs.
Yeah.
The Gallup series, like there's obvious, like there's way more optimal lineups or whatever you want to call it. So having more paths to something allows you to work with less, right? Work with different bloodlines, mashing them together. Again, back to the sprinters and the stayers. There's a very consistent finish and start requirements, and we
Yeah.
know in the case of a finish, it's a little harder to find than start. One last thing I wanted to bring up that Ian did post an awesome thread about all the stuff they're doing. Highly recommend you check that out. OTB, like everything is going in the right direction for Crown. But this is the
Yeah.
main thing I wanted to bring up because it really reminded me of something that you were pitching to me and to the third time guys not that long ago. But the idea of being able to leverage these simulated races for anything you might need an order for, whether that be a fantasy draft or what, just trying to figure out the order of who gets to go to the buffet first at the company picnic. uh, I love that they having the jockey version. That's very hilarious.
Yeah, very, very
In
funny,
fact,
dude.
we've wanted jockeys in the game. Bowser, I think we have jockeys in the game. Will they create a class of jockey racers that we have to start breeding? There'll be lady jockey racers, male jockey
I
racers.
kind of want him to be all male jockey
Oh,
racers.
look at that close by the
Yeah,
eight
man, that
jockey.
number 8, he's just flying down the
He's
stretch.
finishing all over the track.
Dude, he did that shot of steroids in his butt down the way.
Uh, uh yeah. So again, go follow Ian on X at Third Time Ian. If
Yeah,
you haven't
no,
checked out the Boss's Breeding Corner, highly recommend it. Like I said, he also just recently, if you come from the world of corporate America or even or tech or whatever, he put out a great little week in review of what they accomplished. Very excited for a lot of these changes.
well,
Something I'm very
and one
excited
thing
about though, Bowser, is the race entry API.
I was looking at that, but what I might be most excited about here is in the gambling pools now. They've got it. It looks
Oh
like they've
yeah.
got it together for like the pick two, the daily double, pick two, pick three, pick four pools are coming to the game soon, which I am very excited for. So
So
that's really cool.
this is amazing because we were already going to get a bump in functionality with trifectas, exactas on the OTB platform versus the native original betting site. But now adding in daily doubles, pick threes, and pick fours is a complete game changer, especially for the content. You're doing a card, you can now have a pick
Oh,
four. You
our
get
derby
that
days
part.
are good. Our derby streams are going to be so awesome now, where we, have like a daily double going for every two races, a pick three going, a pick four going for all. Like this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to doing this, and like, it's going to make strategizing, handicapping the cards a lot more, lot of action. That's all I got to say. I love it.
Yeah, and shout out to the racing forums. Very affordable to get in.
Yeah,
If you're not again not being paid for this one, but very much worth it. I think this is still the one we won, but
this is from the last SGPN Classic, I think, or the Turf Classic, maybe.
is it? No, I think this is the Derby. Yeah, this is the Derby.
I saw nitrous balloon in there.
Oh, maybe it's just a dummy. Oh no, this is years ago. Okay, or seasons ago. Anyway, great product. Highly recommend you pick up some of the tokens for the premium. Again,
Yeah.
not being paid to say this. It's got tremendous data in there. Even if you want to be a dummy and just take some recommendations, they
And
offer you
they're only like
recommendations. So
15-20 cents or whatever. It's
I know
really
that's what I
it's
was saying.
really
Just
cheap to get these. Like, hey, if I go to my local casino when I'm betting races and want to get the date racing one, it's like $8 at the casino. So 15-20 cents for the digital one for this game. Pretty good deal, I gotta say.
and then I guess I should also shout out AI Paddock.
Yeah, no, he made
Um,
that graph there that we were from Ian's article. And
in general, I would say that head over to his site, poke around. A lot of insightful. Basically, his gimmick is he has data, and he
yep,
analyzes the data, and he tells you what he finds. And so there's not a ton of subjective opinion. It's a lot more of just digesting the data. Again, this is how you get better at the game. So AIpaddock.com, another great read for
I
the
see we got
game
a
player.
question in the chat to answer
Oh hell
too.
yeah! I haven't been
Um,
looking at the chat. I apologize, Bowser.
no, yeah. Eric's asking, my stable went unattended for a while. Now I got a couple 20-year-old stallions here. Is step one finding a lady for them to bang, or what's my move here? Now, I mean, first I would look at the reveals. If the reveals, I mean, first off, yeah, I would definitely want to be getting mares. Like that's definitely
Let me answer this question
all
better.
right.
Let me I would love to know Eric's stable name so we could actually pull the horses up. I have a feeling I know who it is, so I'm going to look it up while I'm vamping here. But my starting point would say I don't think you should feel like you're pot committed unless these things are good, right? Would you
Exactly.
agree with that, Bowser?
Yep.
And
So
so
yeah,
if that's the starting point, right? Like let's look at the
yeah.
reveal.
Let's look at the reveal. If there's something there to work with, and look at their parents. Maybe you left them unattended, didn't race them for a while. You didn't get the data points that we've been sitting here harping on this episode. But maybe we got some data points from the parents where we can get an idea of something. You know.
I believe this is Stone Ponies. I could be wrong. No, that's not Stone Ponies. I take that back. Eric, let us know what your stable name is. We'll take a look at it. But I would say the short answer is don't feel pot committed.
Oh,
If you're
it's
looking,
Heshinton Farms. It's the second. Yeah, it's that one. I know which one it is. Yeah.
okay, it is. All right, let me pull it up. Let's look at these. Let's look at these stallions. But
Yeah,
what I would
because
say is the better bet because you were one of the early Turf Club members before the Turf Club even existed.
yes.
Um, you are going to like. I'm sure we could probably set you up with something.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. One of it is a trainer. I don't think the trainer and the other one's a right turner. So we don't even know if it will be compatible with a lady, Scott.
We
Um,
do have a right turf firm female in our stable. I guess we could.
yeah, but this
Go.
feels like what we do is we bring them over to the good guy side and we set them up with
Yeah,
some left dirt
we get it.
to
Yeah,
get.
I think I agree there. We get him some left dirt stuff that he
We
can.
loan him some of our good lower end left dirt stuff and let him have some fun.
Yep. And we'll give him the kick as a turf club member. Help him out with the
Oh
his,
yeah, of
some of
course.
our studs as well. So we'll get him covered on both
That's what I
ends. Run
mean. We
some.
could probably loan
We
them
can run
both
some
ends.
breed reports. Yeah, yeah. We could get him going.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll run the breed report for you and then loan them over and you can breed them at a discount or we can do it for you either way.
Yep.
And shout out to the chat. Missed it earlier. Kamish, can't believe we didn't include virtual Kentucky Derby champs in the intro. You're absolutely right. Of course we need to do that. And still all
Season
season long until the next one.
and
Shout
still
out
season 20. Well, we could always say and still 29 season 29 champs.
shout out to Japan. Japan, we have a surprise for you. I have
Oh
not
yeah,
posted
dude.
I have
We
not
yeah
posted on social media, but since you're here, Japan, we do have a horse called Japan Dab Time. It's a
we
female,
yeah we did name a horse after you. So
and it just picked up some quali points in the juvie long with the stayer series,
yeah, 6 races,
so
1 win, 1 second. Not bad, you know. Like
it's put out a clean 75 and a 77 and on soft, so helps us swallow the yielding 75 a little bit better.
yep,
I could see we've had a little bit of bad luck with early aging at the S minus level recently, but I like this one. This could be a nice little piece for us coming from Hit King Ichiro. I could see where you came up with Japan,
yeah.
of course, who comes from Eclipse, and then some loggerhead blood, which I feel like we don't have a ton of loggerhead.
Yeah, I think we have a little. Yeah, we don't have as much as we probably would like.
Well,
But
hopefully this can be a good one right here. Nice female Gen 2 here.
yeah, I feel like on the higher end, like Gen Zero studs over there, we focus more on Elvis than Loggerhead. for good reason. Elvis won 3 Kentucky Derbies. Like,
Yeah.
and Elvis, I think Elvis has produced more Kentucky Derby champs than any other sire in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't have that data. The chat can. I do like getting corrected, so please hit us
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I'll just say some
And
shit sometimes. You never know. No, but I think I saw that was a while ago when I saw that post about that. So, or I think it was he
um,
had produced the most major champions, maybe not Kentucky Derby champions, because you include like the Twin Spires stuff.
yeah. I mean, I guess yeah. You want to include everything. All right. What else did we want to talk about?
Oh,
Oh,
sorry, my mic
streaks.
is
Yeah,
a little.
we
My
wanted
mic
to.
stand's really falling apart.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. We did want to talk. Our buddy, the commish, suggested in this post the
Oh
other
yeah,
day.
definitely want to talk about this. Yeah. So, well, what's funny is right before you left on your trip, I want to say the last conversation we had, we were talking about the idea of is there something to momentum, or as you said, confidence. But basically, like we see it all the time. We saw it with Tamale Lady there, where she wins one and wins one at a higher level and kind of keeps that momentum going. And I think there might be something to that. Like you don't want to ruin their confidence. Essentially, I don't know. What do you think about this, Ryan?
I think there's two things. I think there's one, like what we're referring to here is the idea of a stable getting hot. I, Certainly, I think to me this feels like you're just getting hot at, like, I bet you this is a common time to start to get hot on track because you're figuring your horses out. In a lot of cases, what only one of these was a maiden, right? So that means you've already discovered these horses.
Yeah.
Number were juvies, so you're hitting that sweet spot of like, okay, I know what this horse is. And yeah, no, I think the idea of a stable streak is probably actual human confidence or process. To me, like that's more likely to be the case. If you looked at our track records, Bowser, I guarantee we have more streaks, good streaks in the latter like 3 weeks of the season than we do in the first.
Yeah, when we're
And I
just
bet you
piling stuff. Yeah.
as you get further in the season, I bet you there's more likely to be a like very good podium streak or win streak. Um, as far as what you were saying about the horse confidence, which is slightly different, but potentially related. It does feel like there could be a relationship between, like, I know it like I think some people believe it's like a roulette spin where one race is completely unrelated from the previous race. And I don't think that's how horse racing works in real life. So I doubt that third time would have ignored the idea of a horse gaining confidence and a horse getting hot. Now it could just be explained away with aging curve
Yeah, it
and
could be a
good
combination of
race
aging
discovery.
curve, right, race selection, weather, all that, everything kind of lining up there. But I do think it's definitely something to consider, though. Here, yeah, because there's my comment to him of like there might be some kind of trait there. I don't know, but I think you're right. I mean, really, it might just be more about the aging curve than anything.
I I well, I think two things. Like the way I would explain, if I've put deep thought into anything, it's the relationship between, like, is there a breeding curve? Is there an aging curve? Are they related? And if they are, how would that work? It's hard to imagine that, like, it just, the starting point for me is that aging isn't a once a season thing. And I don't necessarily think aging is a time of season thing. I think aging could be an incur, like aging could be putting it into that grade 3 and whipping its ass for the first time. Like there I to me, I feel like there could be triggering events outside of just pure age.
Well, yeah, and is it also maybe
Maturing, we'll
a
call it, not
certain number of?
aging.
It's not so much how long into the season; it's how many races into the career it could be too.
Yeah. So, that idea that the maturity curve is, well, I also think the maturity curve can be impacted by the person racing. Like to me, I think like it makes sense that the game would allow you to reach its maturity curve faster if you do it right.
Yeah.
And so if the idea that you can have an impact over the maturity curve or aging curve, and aging is just one component there, then getting back to confidence, if you get it right and you get it right quickly, like that to me is when we see a streak.
Yeah.
Now, for us, when I think about a streak, I think about our horses that come out and win the first one and then go on a streak of looking like complete donkeys.
Or you think of like Deuces Wild, who like, I don't know, 10, 15 races in started a run of like 20 straight races of hitting the podium or whatever.
You know what? Great call. Let's pull that one up. Great moments in SGPN stables
Yeah,
history. I like
we've talked
new
about
segment.
having our Hall of Champions. We're going to start inducting a horse into our Hall of Champions. So.
Let's have a fun look at the what can only be described. I mean, I'm just going to show the whole career.
Yeah, no, she was more of a distance runner, not a. I always think she was a sprinter, but she was distance.
Well, because the reveal was tricky, but like,
That's right.
and yeah, she showed up early, but man, you'll notice here that the switch gets flipped, and it's just like third, first, second. I mean, a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
duds, and then back to first, second, third,
Second in
first,
a
first.
major at the Bourbon County there, in the middle of all this, and then
Let's
back to
actually
second, third,
because
third, first.
so this is back when they were fleet figure restricted, and this thing was running against S plus horses, like good S plus horses that you still know. Like you've probably seen Super Bowl in a bloodline that you've maybe bred with.
Yeah.
A Cosmic Thug you've almost certainly seen. This was one of the more impressive performances out of our stable. Man, if only we had gone nuts and bet on that one, Bowser.
All right.
But yeah, this was a weird one because look at this reveal. I mean, we see why I
the
was able to
9 stars definitely helped on this one. I'll say that. But
yeah,
yeah,
it was a sloppy race, but like you look at that and you're like, what? That horse didn't have stamina? It consistently ran long. I mean, you look at the charts,
yeah,
which this is the kind of graph you love.
yeah, you love to see that.
But
But
like
yeah,
this is a horse without stamina right here. And once again, what does this tell you? Finish. Finish matters so damn much.
yep.
And
Finish, heart, temper,
specifically,
like
Scott, have we had a horse that is we don't have too many, but uprolling on finish, heart, and temper? I don't think we've seen too many of those horses dug
no,
out.
we haven't. And I imagine we would see a high, earnings and success rate like we did with this one when you see that, especially combined with a 9 star horse, like preference
Yeah.
wise.
But unfortunately, has not been the best
No,
breeder.
her kids have kind of left a little to be desired. That being said, I feel Best Ball Mania there has a chance to become our. I mean, she currently is, but really be our strong breeder for us over on the LDS side. And yeah,
Yeah, just it's one of those weird things about the game. Like this horse was awesome, but yeah, for whatever reason, the breeding is not really. And it's an Eclipse kid,
yep,
direct
direct.
kid of. So I mean, yeah, to bring it back around to the streaks,
But 375,000 in earnings for an S minus is pretty ridiculous.
it really is. I mean, and again,
even
like
even for back then, like
yeah, no, that those 90 fleet figure max like undercards they used to have. And we ran this thing to age, so 20 was the last year, 5 maybe. Actually, there's an easy
I
way
think
to
we
do
ran
this.
into age 5 or 6. I want to say we ran to age 6, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
look at this. This fucking horse went back up. Like this is what I think that he's ready to gig curve could look like. Do you see how much this resembles?
Yeah.
You see a clear jump from 2 to 3. And then it kind of like there's a 3-year window there where this horse is putting stuff down. And then you see the decline at the 6-year-old season. So I do think we are in and again to show you what that trend data is going to look like. See this red line here, Scott?
Yep.
He's ready to gig. We're like here,
Okay.
And so there's a part of me that's like, man, this thing might still have more in it. Anyway, but yeah, back to the streaks thing. I think I appreciate the commish creating content. I think that, but I do think not to compliment him, but I think the streaks Stable streaks are all about the stable owners. Horse streaks are about capturing the magic that is the maturity curve.
Okay. The commission corrected me. He said that Elvis only made one. He was a trash sire. Only made one winner out of 500 plus. So, all right. Thank you for correcting me. I couldn't remember if it was him or not.
We need someone needs to do an updated report on the best sires and look like, multiple generations into it. Yeah. I'm sure now that we're a show, Bowser, we can just say this would be great.
Yeah, hopefully.
And someone will be like, "Oh, I could do that." All right, what else? What else are we talking about today? What else you want to get into? We can talk. We have a horse to retire. We also can talk about breeding and
I did kind of want to talk a little bit about breeding here because I did notice. Remember, I did give everyone shit last season for not breeding with Charred Cybertruck after his sire. He's ready to gig won the Kentucky Derby, but now this season we've already gotten 2 outside hits on him. So good job to those 2 stables. I think one was Dark Star, and I can't remember who the other one was.
I mean, you gotta try one, right?
Yeah, no,
we got
True to the Wire. That's Dark Star.
Shout out Dark Star. A nice little 1.56 mil overall. Yeah. I mean,
look at they got some quality stuff over there. They know what they're doing.
A lot of Michelle Jackson stuff here. A little
Michelle Jackson's a great name.
Yeah, that's a game we like to play in our stable too. And then who was the other one we had?
Pure
Vita.
Yeah.
Oh, another Dark Star. Shout out Dark Star. This could be someone looking to get into the turf club.
Oh yeah, Casino. I mean, of course, Casino is one of the all-time great studs. I will never doubt Casino. And we'll be. In fact, speaking of Commission's great studs, I will give him a shout out because we worked out a nice little deal with us for Kingslayer this season. So yeah, we were able to get a few pops at Kingslayer, which I'm very excited.
I like the idea of pissing off the community by further platforming the commission. This is like when you have are you supposed to interview the bad guy and give him a platform? Of course, absolutely. Of course. So what else? What did you want to spot? What did you want to spotlight in the breed barn?
Oh no, I just wanted to
let people know
is in there, and Samurai's in there for a final season before he goes off to the greener side. So definitely recommend firing off with Samurai here.
Let me pull him up. In fact, actually, we should retire our horse and then bring up Sam because I think we're going to breed it with Samurai.
That might be a little much right now. That might be
yeah. Should we retire it though?
Sure. I don't know if that's. I was thinking this seems like a good place to wrap up, but
okay.
That could end up making it go a little long.
Well, let's just only retire it then.
Okay.
I do like a little surprise ending. All right. So, before we talk about consig, definitely, if you are looking to get into the game or into our studs, great way to get into Turf Club. So, head over to Photo Finish. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/turf club works too. Sign up for the game. Use SGPN. Get into the Turf Club. We're running the Turf Classic next week.
Yep.
Week after that, we're running the Dirt Classic. And biggest thing when you get into Turf Club, discounts on breeds. Horses are going to be available.
So Eric was asking for what to do next. Hey, my advice, Eric, go out and get yourself a claimer left turf horse to put in the Turf Classic next week. As a Turf Club member, you got a spot.
Oh, great call. It's going to be a 7 furlong race if you're interested. And I will be reaching out. The process is going to be a little easier this week, it's going to be we'll be whitelisting stables. So I'll put a word out. We'll collect stable IDs if you want to get in, and we'll get you whitelisted. Again, that race will be 6 p.m. Pacific on Friday, the 18th. Go hit our studs. Again, Bowser created a Derby champion from one of them, and you idiots still aren't getting a piece. All right, let's close it out. One of my, I'm going to say this was a frustrating horse because I thought it felt like it was going to go better early on. It felt like this horse was going to be really awesome.
Yeah.
This is one of your like you love seeing the big jumps, 8S minus on the mom side.
And then A plus to S on the dad side. So yeah, no, and with the combination of Rosa Zion and Shawnee Bear, excellent bloodline here. So yeah.
But at the end of the day, for whatever reason, it kind of let me pull up the aging curve actually, because I have a feeling this one may peaked early. Now, granted, you see the median line kind of just stays the same, but the excitement over some of the big numbers it popped early.
Yeah, it popped some really big numbers early, and you normally don't see numbers that big out of a juvenile, especially an S minus one. But yeah, that was might have been a case of fool's gold here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hopeful. It's a Gen 2. It's got good stars. Let's see what we got here, Bowser. Whoa. Okay.
I mean,
So
nothing
that's
special.
plus 3. Plus 3.
Plus 3, yeah.
So competitive because of the start and speed. That finish is very interesting, and I mean it's a sprint. This is a great starting place for a sprinter. You juice up that heart and temper. There's something here, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. So what did this change your opinion on potentially putting it in a lovemaking situation with Mr. Samurai? Next
Maybe.
time, next time on Run for the Roses.
My thing is like, I mean, I don't mind doing it because it's a cheap in-house one for us, but I'm not going to be expecting much out of that kid. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is probably a good way to leave us. Again, back to Ian speaking, the Godfather speaking, the boss speaking. They are adding all sorts of tools in this game to try to make it easier. He realizes he created a very complicated Rubik's cube, trying to make it easier for everyone. And there's little bits of, I don't want to call it artificial intelligence, but there's little bits of intelligence being kind of sprinkled in to help people meander through the game without making a complete ass of themselves. Anything to add to that before we get out of here?
No. I think got it good.
Got it good. Thanks for joining us on a different time. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, I was floating down a river. So deal with it. Make sure you get signed up in the game. Use that code SGPN. Get into the Turf Club. Shit, we'll even maybe hook you up with a charged Cybertruck. This is actually a great way to get into Turf Club. Go breed with charged Cybertruck. Try to create your own Derby champion, and also get into the Turf Club. Again, 2 free rolls in the next 2 weeks. We're going to keep running that back each season, and then who knows? We didn't do a horse giveaway this season so far, so look forward to that also.
You know, I was thinking about maybe something we introduce next season is do a little auction. Do a Keeneland style auction with some of our new foals from next season. Maybe we throw a couple in there and get people chumming like sharks for them. Could be a lot of fun.
I like this idea. I like anything that drives little engagement. I also like making another run for the Kentucky Derby. Tune in next week.
Yep.
By next Friday, we will nearly be done with the qualification efforts in the Derby. Other series will be running down to the wire. We'll have the Kentucky Oaks to talk about in the near future. I'm sure Bowser will reflect back on all this charged Cybertruck stud covers we've collected over the past 7 days.
Yeah, because we're gonna have actually next 5 days. So
next 5 days.
I mean, you know what? I'm throwing the gauntlet right now. I expect at least 5, one a day at least. Come on. Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, go again. You want a Derby winner? Hit charged Cybertruck. Don't worry about the stats you see in front of you. This horse has the winning gene, which stay tuned. We have been in early conversations with winning gene. Hopefully in the future can be something we can share with the audience. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. With that, thank you for joining. This has been episode 10 of Run for the Roses on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. For Scott, I am Ryan, Real Money Kramer, and I still haven't figured out a good way to get out of here. Let it ride.